Hey everyone, this is Tim and I hope you're doing well. This is VidCon. Very busy, very energetic, very exciting. Really cool to be here. Got a chance to attend some really great talks. Those fellows there, one of whom controls the YouTube algorithm, and the room was packed. Everyone paying attention, and it was actually hard to see. But I certainly understand the difficulties of filming. Great job to him there, and I got a chance to visit some of the other attractions after the seminars. Really grateful because I got to meet some friends that I've never met in person, the great fellows from Ridge. And funny how the Vancouver folks always congregate together. These are the great members from the Linus Tech team, enjoying a glass of wine at the YouTube booth. And the TikTok tunnel and the Instagram booth were quite amazing there. And apologies, I had to film vertically. They don't allow us to film horizontally in those areas. So I think I am all VidConned out. This is kind of the last day, and really great to chat with all the people and finding all the great places to eat. And I think I found LA's best buffet. Right now we're in Anaheim here, so it's a little bit of a trip to LA and visit a fantastic buffet. I've been there before and they said it's even better, so I can't wait to give it a try. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're hungry. I'm almost getting there, not too hungry yet, but because it is a bit of a trip, I think I will be when we get there. Again, thank you. Come on, let's have a great meal together. Come on, let's go. So after a nice ride from Anaheim to LA, a short but steep walk up a hill is what stands between us and the buffet. A little bit of effort. It's almost like you're being watched, like the hills have eyes. And we have arrived. This is the Hilton Universal City, and I think this is the best seafood buffet in LA. And the reason I know this is I've got a good fortune to visit this a couple of years ago. Lots of lobsters, lots of crabs, king crab in fact. And of course, the great people there. So after a couple of years and after a couple of world events, I'm curious to see how the buffet is now. Hopefully they still have all the great seafood and of course, all the great people. So really grateful to be able to get to visit and try this for the second time, and really grateful that you can join me. And also a big thank you to Mukbee Food App for sponsoring this video. Mukbee is a completely free app. That is exactly what I've been looking for. I've been using Mukbee so much to find great dishes and foods to try from a worldwide community of food lovers. In fact, that's Mukbee's mission, is to connect food lovers from around the world to share in all their great dishes. So no matter where you are, you can find really, really great places to eat. And for me in particular, when I'm traveling, it's always nice to find a community of food lovers to show you and guide you through your culinary adventures. And because Mukbee is focused on dishes rather than restaurants, you'll find exactly what you're in the mood for, whether it's fried chicken, noodles, or a buffet, no matter where you are. Tokyo, New York, Vegas, or here in LA, you'll be able to find amazing dishes no matter where you are, thanks to the community of food lovers everywhere through Mukbee. And it's also really fun just to scroll through to get inspiration and to get hungry. And I'm really grateful because you can create lists in Mukbee to share all the great places you've been to. And I've been adding lists of all the places I've been to, from Vietnam to Manila to New York and Vegas and here in LA. And because this is a new community and a new app, Mukbee is encouraging everyone to share their hidden gems. For every post you provide, you get Mukbee points that you can later convert into restaurant discounts and other goodies. And also it gets better because for every post you make between now and end of August, you are entered into a giveaway where Mukbee is giving away amazing prizes, from Visa cash cards to the grand prize of a food trip to New York City. So that's pretty amazing. And I believe the draw is on August 20th. So catch their, be on the lookout on their social media for that. So give it a try. I'll leave all the download information in the video description. And if and when you download the app, please add me because I'd love to share my recommendations. And more importantly, I'd love to follow and see your recommendations. They have been such a help throughout the years. So whether it's the best deal for fish and chips in Vegas or the best lobster buffet in Manila, the worldwide community of trusted food lovers through Mukbee has you covered. And speaking of lobster buffet, I think it's time for a fantastic meal. Thank you so much for joining. Come on, let's go have a lobster or 4. So kind of nice to be in an air-conditioned room, and it looks just the same as before with the grand atrium, and if memory serves, it should be just right up ahead. This brings back memories in the best possible way. I remember the gorgeous ceilings made of glass that shields you from the sun while you enjoy the lobster buffet. Hey Anne, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, very good.
Welcome to Cafe Sura.
Oh, thank you. Feeling a little hungry. Can I get a table?
Oh yeah, sure. That's right.
Thank you so much, Anne. And I've heard Anne does a mean moonwalk as well, but we'll see.
Welcome back to Cafe Sura.
Oh, thank you.
And
Oh, this one here.
thank you so much.
So glad to get the table, and really nice to see Anne. And I remember about 3, maybe even 4 years ago, I got to meet some really great people like Antonio and James, and it's really nice to see them still here and just as good as ever. And this time I have upgraded. I've got a booth, and I think I've got a larger table because I think Anne knows how much we're going to eat together. So I can't wait. And maybe I think we'll get a glass of wine first before starting. But let me show you the room here. Kind of like what it was before, and we have some entertainment over there. So it's pretty nice, and this table is situated perfectly, nice and large and close to the buffet. And I think there's a mountain of crab behind me. And the most important person over there, I remember shucking all the oysters and chopping up all the lobsters. So I think our wine is right here. Thank you so much. All right. So great to see Antonio again. And this time he comes bearing gifts of white wine. There we go. Cheers to you. Very nice. And I think we'll start on with the buffet. So the buffet looks like it hasn't changed, just as good as it was before. Let's grab a plate. Hey George, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Oh, this is amazing. It's
You know what? With my best, and obviously presentation is very important.
It's not only the presentation, it's the food.
Yeah,
King crab and lobster. And I see there's a hard-working gentleman right at the back cooking everything up.
Yeah,
Right
he's
over.
cutting all the lobsters and everything.
I have my plate here, and let's take a look. It is certainly busy. And normally I try to come to the buffet when it's nice and pristine, right when it opens. But that hill was a struggle, and it's like an hour after they opened, but this looks just like it did before. So many crabs and lobsters over there. And I guess we'll begin with some oysters. I think this is actually the best buffet I've seen in LA. And just like that hill I was walking up, we have a hill of ice, and gravity is not helping. There we go. Number 1, and a plump juicy oyster, number 2, and a lot of ginormous shrimp and ginormous crab. We'll go for a few shrimp next to the oysters. And these are the biggest Dungeness crab I've ever seen. And look at the size. And let's see what else we have. So not only do we have the crab on the display table, we have a stack of crab along the wall and more crab scattered with oysters. And these are lobster claws. I know better than to get the lobster claws because they have fresh lobster all the way down there. This is where the experience comes in. But let's see what else we have. Oh, some soup. Let's see. So this is a hot and sour soup, but this is the New England clam chowder, which is definitely the favorite. Let's go for, oh, nice and thick. Let's go for a little bit here. Not too much. So nice and thick, and look at all this deep fried goodness. These are the Asian style crab, cooked And oh my goodness, I think this is soft shell crab. And as much as I like soft shell crab, it's even better because it is deep fried. Crab number one and a crab number two. So we have some calamari and some fried chicken. All right, and I can't say no to the catfish. Nice and deep fried as well. And this is the Asian station with dim sum from the shrimp crackers and sweet and sour pork. Those are actually my favorite, but I am going to refrain from that. The sticky rice and the barbecue pork buns, some pot stickers, and I can't resist the spring roll. And I think they are veggie, but they should still be good. So we have some shrimp dumplings. I think I'll get a shell mai. And past the dim sum, we have this mountain of king crab. So I'm seeing a theme here, Hills of Hollywood, from the walk up here to the hill of oysters to the hill of this magnificent king crab. And I think I see the most important person over here. Hi, Joel, how are you? You look just the same and as good as ever.
Yeah, never get one.
Joel, can I get a lobster, please? Oh. Oh, we have king crab too.
Hi.
Oh. Joel, thank you so much. Oh my God, this is so heavy. My goodness, look at this. So massive king crab and the fresh lobster. All right, so that was a massive plate, and I couldn't even reach 2/3 of the buffet. I think I've only gone through 1/3 because the buffet just stretches all the way down there. And I remember the hot carvery, prime rib, and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna save that for a second round. But look at what Joel has done. Lots of lobsters, and again, I remember saying this last time, a couple of years ago, these king crab are as big as my forearm and actually my arm as well. Look at that, all the way through the plate. Of course, we've got the cold plate here with a bit of oysters and Dungeness crab, a little shrimp, hot butter, and a deep fried plate here. That was so much work, and I think a well-deserved glass of wine is certainly needed. Cheers. And I can't wait to dig into that king crab while it's nice and hot. This is always going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think we're going to hold off on the crab, sudden change of mind, and I think we'll go for the lobster first. All right. Oops, sorry, knocked it around there. All right, and look at this, nice and hot, and it just peels off, perfectly cooked. And I think a little bit of butter or a lot. Oh. Wonderfully cooked and nice and buttery, mainly because of the butter. And I dipped the tail in first, but this end where it's all flared out is an absolutely wonderful substrate to soak up and retain all that butter. Let's give this a try. So good. Let's go for the king crab. So this is why I was going for the lobster first. It looks a little bit daunting, but I think it's actually okay. We'll peel this off, and this now becomes a paintbrush to soak up all that nice butter. Oh, so meaty and delicious, nice and warm, not overcooked, and just a little bit more butter. Oh, so good, and we can crack into the claw. My apologies, this will get messy. We pull out the cartilage here, give it a crack, and look at that, it just comes right off. Break it apart carefully, and it just comes right out of there. And there we go, almost there, a perfect king crab. Oh, look at that. And look, and I think this is absolutely real butter, perfect. Very nice. Succulent, so much meat and sweet like the ocean. And instead of butter, I think we are gonna dip this into the clam chowder. A perfect sauce, and I lost one there. That's okay. We'll come back for that later. So nice. And while I was afraid of the hot food getting cold, I think the cold food may be getting warm. Let's try the oysters. A little bit of sauce. Cheers. So fresh and so plump as well. And that little bit of cocktail sauce, a little bit of tang, a lot of creaminess. Oh, so good. So I think I'm gonna finish this off. But before leaving you, I think I'm gonna try that soft shell crab. Oh, and so crispy still. A little bit messy, but messy in the most wonderful way because that crab is tender and meaty on the inside and crispy and crunchy on the outside. So good. So I think I'm gonna finish this round and definitely take you back for the second 2/3 of the buffet. Just as good as it was many years ago, if not better. Great people here and even more people enjoying their food. So I better hurry up because I think there's going to be a competition. Cheers. Round one was so enormous and hard to finish, but so tasty. Joel certainly did me in with that large plate. The catfish was nice and tender, and that spring roll, well, it's just a vegetarian spring roll, but a little bit of butter makes it even better. And that New England clam chowder, an absolute gorgeous substitute for the butter. From the lobster to the shrimp to the king crab, the butter and the New England clam chowder makes everything better. And I think this is it for round one. Let's go to round two for some hot food and some hot meats. Come on, let's go. Oh, it's harder getting out. Really cool to see Joel is hard at work as usual. Nice to go for a walk. We have our plate here and let's take a look. Starting off, we are looking good because these are the creamiest mashed potatoes. And where you have mashed potatoes, you're gonna have the prime rib. Right here. And next we have a favorite comfort food. It's not only mac and cheese, this is lobster mac and cheese with a little bit of scallions for freshness. Give this a try. This is becoming a comforting plate of food. All right, and this is interesting. This is pizza. So that's what it looks like under the lights, and that's what it looks like without the lights. Really nice. This, I believe, is Spago style because we have the salmon on the pizza. All right. And moving on, we have some ribs. And this, I believe, is a grilled filet mignon. But I think I'm going to hold off on that because I think we have some carvery coming up. But oh, look at this. I can't say no to a good lamb chop. Oh, right over here. Oh, looks so good. So really nice to see all the hardworking folks here. And, you know, at the buffet here, they don't joke around. I noticed one thing. There is no salad station. Everything is of the utmost importance. And the only remnants of a salad is from the salmon. And the salad is only used for decoration. Since I have the salmon on the pizza, I think I'll skip the salmon. But let's see what else they have. Some more comforting food. Salmon topped with shrimp, seafood on seafood, and a little bit of Indian inspiration. Short ribs in curry, some beautiful fried shrimp. And I hate to say it, I think I am all seafood out on the shrimp, But look at this, lobster, more lobster. This is lobster thermidor style. Grab one of these. Not really enough room here. Some short ribs, and finally some veggies for health. So not too bad. And look, I think this is halibut in lobster sauce with, that's a lobster or a tomato? I think that's a tomato, so we'll skip that. But we'll go for a nice piece of halibut. And before the plate gets too full, I think we need to make a visit to all the nice meats, and the poultry looks so good. Oh, hi Sal. Oh my goodness. Can I get your fattiest cut of prime rib? So how many of those do you go through a day?
Normally, like 3 pieces.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, thank you so much. So nice and juicy. Oh, so you have duck. Can I try a little bit of duck? Oh, a leg would be great. Okay, thank you. Wow. So thank you so much. And I think a little bit of horseradish or a lot. And this is certainly a full plate. All right. So the plates were so full, I had to divvy it up into two. Over there, we have the salmon pizza and the lobster mac and cheese, lamb chops, lobster thermidor, and this wonderful roasted plate of goodness with all the luscious fatty meats from Sal. So I just need to figure out what to cut into first, but I don't think that prime rib should wait. So let's give that a cut into, and it's nice and pink. A little bit of fatty striations here. Little bit of jus. All right, so this part looks a little bit cooked, a little bit medium well, but this is the fatty rib part with a little bit of horseradish. Oh. And while it might not look like it, it is tender. But let's go for the medium cooked prime rib. Again, with a little bit of fat, nice and pink. And oh, I'm just using just barely enough weight of the knife to cut through it. Again, more jus or more horseradish. That was a big bite, but it melts in the mouth because of that healthy amount of fat distributed throughout the meats. Very nice. And I gotta try that pizza. I met someone up at the buffet earlier, and she said the pizza was really good. So I can't wait to give this a try. And it is. Pizza is nice and tender, and the salmon is just cooked and smoky. And the crust is an interesting one. Undercarriage looks good. It's not a chewy crust. It's a little bit cakey and thin, but really well done. I really enjoy this. Very nice. And a true test of the buffet is how they cook the seafood. Let's try the halibut. All right, so halibut in a bit of lobster sauce. Let's give that a try. Pretty good. Halibut is cooked well, and it's just on the verge of drying out. Not quite, but that lobster sauce is nice and spicy and rich. Very good. Cheers. You gotta try that lobster. Move things around. All right. Stick in. All right, lobster thermidor. So baked and hot with breadcrumbs. Cut a little bit here. Very nice. Lots of things going on. Breadcrumbs and cream and herbs. It's a little dry because it's baked, but still very good. And I think we need to scoop that up with a little bit of potatoes for that perfect bite. Very good. As good as a lobster thermidor is, if you have a choice, go see Joel with all that fresh lobster cooked to perfection. And while we're enjoying it here, we're hearing people celebrating. So really nice here. So I think I'm gonna finish up all this food from the lamb to the duck, and we'll take you back and see what else. Maybe we give Joel a visit a few more times, give Saul a visit a few more times as well. And of course, we have to go for dessert. So lots to do, and thank you so much for joining, and I'll take you back. Very nice. Round two was absolutely ginormous. So much food, but so good. The lamb is nice and charred on the outside, a little bit pink, and with a bit of mashed potatoes, the perfect bite. And that lobster mac and cheese, absolutely gorgeous. Chunks of lobster, but that duck is something else. Nice and fatty and luscious with the crispy skin. That was so good and so filling. And normally, if I was here, I would just go hog wild on the king crab and the lobster, but it's also fun to sample so many foods and get to share it with you. And speaking of sharing more food, come on, let's go for dessert. All right, so a long meal, and it's nice to see. It's kind of late and they still have everything stocked up. Oh, let's see.
Right here.
Little tuna. Oh, thank you so much, Arut.
Welcome.
So everyone's so kind here, and a slight detour from the dessert, but a detour in the most wonderful way. So what goes good with a hand roll? I guess dessert. And look at this. We have an array of delicious goodness here, starting with the churros, and I think this is a baked rice pudding, and the pastries, some Napoleons. I think that is a cream puff, a red velvet cake, and soon we come to the cylinders of sweetness. So normally in an ideal world, we should try each and every one, but just like in life, we have to make choices. Let's go for something that looks like a tiramisu, and maybe a mango, and a raspberry, and a coffee. Okay, so all about choosing wisely. And let's see, a ginormous cream puff, and I think a little bit of cake is in order. I'm glad they cut these slices thin and right on the edge, and some more desserts to tempt us. And I think it just continues on. And this is a wonderful fountain of chocolate with the richness and the creaminess cascading down to a foundation of creme brulee and pineapple and strawberries. And as good as the creme brulee looks, I think that is a little bit rich. And let's see what they have on the other side. Some more fruits. And I think this is another repeat, except the cakes are different. We have a pineapple mousse cake. That's a little bit tricky. We can get in there. Give it a wiggle. There we go. And I'm glad they give you nice wide plates. Makes the job easier. And you know what goes good with cake? Ice cream, right over there. Oh, the crepes look so good, and they get even better because they are topped with ice cream and chocolate sauce. Hi, Esmeralda. Oh, you know what? The crepe, oh, thank you. The crepes look so good. You did such a great job, but it's so heavy. Can I just get some ice cream? How about some vanilla? Oh, let's see. How about some peanuts and chocolate? And sure, let's do a little bit of cream. Thank you so much. All right, a perfect way to cap off dessert. All right, so dessert is certainly interesting. Really love the ice cream here, but that hand roll somehow doesn't belong, although it looks good. And then all these nice desserts. I couldn't resist with a chocolate fountain to go for a chocolate covered strawberry. We need to go in order. Let's start with the hand roll. Just got to give this a try. People are so kind here. To a wonderful start of the desserts. Cheers. It's not bad, and it's not dessert either. And I think this is a case where we need to finish our veggies before going for dessert. All right, I think we need to dig into that ice cream before it melts, but I don't think I can find a spoon. But this is a time critical matter, and if you don't have a spoon, you have to do what's necessary. Let's give it a try. A little bit of whipped cream, and it is melting away. It is a little warm in here. Oh, very good. Some rapidly melting ice cream, some whipped cream, and pecans, and chocolate chips. No, I haven't been away for too long, but that ice cream is really melting quickly, but very good. So I think we got to try one of those cylinders, and I can't decide which one to choose because either this is a tiramisu or that is a tiramisu. Let's see. I think I'm going to give this one a try. We'll dig in there. Oh, and it is a cylinder of a shell of chocolate with, let's see, cake and cream inside. Very nice. You know, when you were a kid and you have those ding-dongs or those chocolate-covered cakes, that's exactly what it reminds me of. Oh, and thank you so much. Nice cup of coffee is exactly what I need with a little bit of cream. Cheers. Oh, so good. And I think I'm going to try the other dessert, see what it is. So I'm pretty sure that was not the tiramisu, but I think this is, let's break into it. And the shattering of the chocolate. Inside, this is a coffee mousse or a tiramisu, one and the same. Oh, very nice. So I'm going to continue finishing up this dessert and also finishing up that massive bowl of ice cream before it melts. So this is Cafe Sierra, I think 3 years after, and just as good as before. Really nice to see all the folks here, almost like things are really getting back to the way they were. Lots of king crab, lots of lobster, and that prime rib, absolutely delicious. And I was sitting next to some great folks on the table beside me, and they were mentioning they actually caught the video many years ago, and they actually recalled the price. It was about $50 back 3 years ago. Now with inflation, I remember gas was like $1, $2 a gallon. Now it's like $5 or $6. So the buffet here, it used to be, I think, $50. Now it's about $139, $140, almost 3 times. So really interesting times. But I guess it is absolutely worth it with all the great people and all the great food. So thank you so much for joining. And I think I need to go for that chocolate covered strawberry that I just couldn't resist getting from the chocolate fountain. Nice and shattery. Glad they have some healthy fruit. Very good. So again, thank you so much for joining. And also a big shout out to really great friends and family out in Australia, from the cousins to the aunts and uncles, and also to the folks that we connect virtually, all the way from Malaysia, from Hannah and Juliet and Thong Ming, and also really nice to meet the nice good old friends here as well. So again, thank you so much, and until we see each other again, I hope you're keeping well, I hope you're eating well, take care of each other, and God bless. And I think just need a little bit more coffee. Cheers. Very nice. So while I was settling up, Amy came by and was gracious to let us know that that long steep hill that I had to walk up we didn't really need to do that, or I didn't really need to do that. There's a shuttle that takes you up, and if you choose to park here, I believe it's unlimited hours, and it's only $13 and change if you dine here, so a pretty good deal. And all you need to do is scan a code they give you when you come here. Really nice to know. I just need a car.